Let's get straight to the point. I will be streaming my reaction to the Mario Kart World Direct on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. But what should we expect? I spent an hour breaking down the Mario Kart World trailer and found this. Right as we open up, we get hit with our first big change, which is 24 drivers will race at once. With more room to drive, more area to cover, it makes sense to add more players. I think it would be cool to be able to pick the amount of racers in certain races instead of always keeping it at 24. I'd love to go back to the old days and play a classic 8-player race, or even a Mario Kart 8's 12-player race. But as we're watching the gameplay from the trailer, we see the use of flying, but in a very different way. The karts being used have actual wings that come out from the vehicle. It's a really cool and modern touch to add to the game, considering each wing will have a different pattern depending on the kart that you choose. I personally like this a lot more than the lackluster glider options in Mario Kart 8. I mean, if we're being honest, usually you end up picking the standard glider since it matches your character. Now, let's stop on what we've already seen for a moment. With the use of added players and these new wings, it seems like they are taking advantage of the fact that we will have much larger tracks and area to cover while driving. Think about it this way. If you add double the players to an MK8 track, it's going to be chaos. But if you make the track double the size as well, it'll feel the same, if not more spacious. I think Mario Kart World is going to do a very good job at keeping that party aspect, especially while changing stuff. They're still going to keep the party of it, of adding more players for more chaos, but still keeping it controlled and fun to play for everyone. Back on the topic of gameplay mechanics, Zero Gravity is out, grinding is in. With grinding, it'll be easier to navigate shortcuts and other areas of a track that you may not have discovered before. This might also be good for new players. While they're crashing into walls in the old game, they'll just end up grinding. It does make me wonder how the mechanic is going to work for new players, or if they're just going to end up crashing the walls again. Because in Mario Kart 8 we had smart steering, and I don't think it's very good. So yeah, I think it would be cool if they just removed it and then just made the driving easier. I don't know. There is one problem that comes with this. Without zero gravity, how will certain Mario Kart 8 tracks work in this game? And my answer is, I don't know. I don't even know how many remade tracks we are even going to get this year, considering the whole drive track to track thing. And speaking of that, one of the weirdest but coolest mechanics is that you will be able to freely drive to the next race. A Grand Prix will now be one long marathon. There are positives and negatives to this. A positive is that Grand Prix will be faster, considering there won't be laps. A negative is that Grand Prix will be faster, considering there won't be laps. What I mean by this being positive and negative is you won't be able to enjoy each track as long since it doesn't appear to have laps. But overall, Grand Prix will be quicker, making it easier to pick up and play, especially for trying to win every race. Because I'm sure, just like in Mario Kart 8, they're gonna have some sort of award for winning each race or something like that. Kind of like how they did with Golden Mario. So having the games quicker just makes it a lot less grueling to do, which I like. Something pointed out later was that there will be a change in times of day and weather. This makes me curious because we didn't get a lot about it. If this is going to be just a transition between tracks, or the actual tracks will have different modes, sort of like how Animal Crossing worked in Mario Kart 8. We'll probably hear more on this once it's time for the direct. Now, let me stop and ask you a question. Have you ever heard of Fall Guys? I've been playing it a lot recently. Well, you can in Mario Kart. In the trailer, they briefly introduced Knockout Tour, which eliminates lower finishing players in a battle royale style of race. So if you don't make it in the top 10, you're eliminated and you won't go on to the next track. I really have one thing to say about this. Can you imagine this with proximity chat? Anyway, the last feature shown was the free roam and camera mode, which has me really curious. First off, I love the idea of free roam, especially with the new driving mechanics like grinding and wings, which we already talked over. If you know me, you know I like a game with a camera mode, but this one has me intrigued. They only showed it during free roam, and I hope it can be used during race replays in a Mario Kart TV sort of way. Bringing that up, by the way, we also don't have any info on if Mario Kart TV is making a comeback. I really hope that they reveal it during the direct or something really similar, because I would love to use that to my advantage. Also kind of makes me wonder, maybe they'll start adding this stuff to Nintendo Switch Sports. Free roam through Spoko Square would be legendary, and to take high quality pictures of your players and make sports cards, that would be amazing. Well, that covers what we know in mechanics, but what about characters? And oh boy, this might take a while. I analyzed the Mario Kart trailer and made a list of every playable character I saw in order of appearance, and if I miss any, please let me know. Here we go. The Mario Kart World trailer showed us Mario, Bowser Jr., Baby Luigi, Pauline, Luigi, Birdo, Shy Guy, Baby Peach, Toad, Wario, Peach, Baby Daisy, Waluigi, Baby Rosalina, Baby Mario, Daisy, Yoshi, Toadette, Rosalina, Donkey Kong, Lakitu, King Boo, Koopa, Bowser, Nabbit, Hammer Bro, Goomba, Cow, Snowman, Tarjan Chuck, Cataquack, Stingbee, Sidestepper, Parabitty Monty Mole, Penguin, Spike, Wiggler, Pianta, and Dolphin. Oh man, I'm out of breath. Along with these, there were two that I couldn't identify, and I want you to be the judge. This image, I think, is of Peepa, which makes sense due to the character's significance. This would also be another new character to the series. But now there's this image, and I can't place it. The only guess I have based purely on appearance is Jalonzo from Splatoon, but that is a huge stretch. I don't think there is any reason that he would be in Mario Kart, but I can't see this as anyone else right now. Just let me know what you think in the comments. In total, this would add up to 42 characters, but I'm sure there will be many more announced in the Direct. So who would you like to see? Personally, I'd like to see... oh man, here we go again. Cappy, Inkling, Octoling, Callie, Marie, Fry, Shiver, Big Man, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, Villager, Tom Nook, Isabelle, Timmy, Tommy, Samus, Sonic, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Meeee, Kirby, Olimar, Topper, Harriet, Spewart, Rango, Sora, Captain Falcon, and my most unrealistic one, I would love for Sportsmates to be added.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping, man.
And the character list is really interesting to me because with the amount of characters they have now and we want Mario Baseball. Come on, right? That game way back when had such a huge roster. And there have been so many new characters added. It feels like once Switch 2 comes out, it is the right time to announce Mario Baseball. Something I have to add is how will the gameplay be improved for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? At the end of the day, I'm sure buttons will be the same as it was in the last game, considering controllers are virtually the same as it was on the Switch 1. There doesn't seem to be too many new controls in the game. I'm sure grinding will be triggered by ZR, just like jumping already is. Without the zero gravity option, carts will be easier to control all of the time, and the cart will feel more like actual wheels are on the cart, which I personally like better. We also haven't heard anything about battle mode, but I'm sure that'll be cleared up in the Direct. I would love for them to use the open world feel for battle mode instead of the normal courses we have currently. But lastly, the ultimate question, is this game worth $80? And the answer is no. It doesn't make sense. It's too much money. No explanation needed. You're taking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which should have been worth like 40 without the DLC, and making it slightly better and better graphics and making it twice the price. You also have to consider that with DLC bound to happen in the future, Nintendo is going to make a full version of the game cost like $150 or more. Anyway, I will be streaming the Direct Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.